Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Nisba channel where we go through different Sharia compliant investment options for you. And today we're going to go through Qardus. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Qardus, even though I thought it was Qardus. And it's a platform that lets you finance small and medium enterprises in the UK, I believe, in a Sharia compliant way. So let's pull it up and get into it. So here we have the website. We have Qardus here, nice little logo with a Q. Zoom out, invest your money ethically. Nice. So it has an option here to invest now and here to fund your business so you can apply for funding. Interesting. And as we scroll down, we see this section where it has investments and it has a few things listed here. So let's just look at them quickly. One of them is called Ardo Electronics. This one seems to be not fully raised yet, and it says here open, 13 days left, so it looks like we can invest in this one. And this one here says the Twilight Care Group Limited, also open and 4 days left as of the day where we make this video. And they have another one here which actually says behind my face, which you can't see, it says offer closed. It looks like they've successfully raised the full amount. Okay, cool. And we can see there's a button here that says view all, but I don't think there's anything behind it because they're all full up. These are the only two that are open at the moment. So, Qardus, how does it work? Let's see. First, you register, all right? Then you begin to invest. You begin to fund small businesses across the UK that are looking for financing facilities in an ethical manner. I think when it says ethical manner, it means Sharia compliant. And finally, it says manage. You will receive your principal, so the amount you invest, and returns in monthly installments from the business you have funded over the term of the facility. Track these repayments on the investor dashboard. Now, the good news is I've already put some money in. Very recently actually, so we can't track any payments I've received, but I just wanted to test it out before I actually made this video. It is ethical and Sharia compliant. Nice. Qardus is a business financing marketplace that is ethical and end to end. What's this here? Oh, something in blue behind it. And end to end Sharia compliant. They actually hidden that. It's not very good. The font is the same color as the background. Like a secret. But seeing as we found that little secret, let's click on it before we see. Oh, so much words. So much words to read. Okay, we're not going to go into that stuff. It's just explaining Islamic finance. Some news, they have some guides here. Can Muslims invest into gold, a zakat calculator, and Sharia pension funds? As seen on Islamic finance news, Salam Gateway. Soon it's going to have as seen on Nisba. And they got some FAQs here. So anyway, let's skip that. Let's look at how it works. And we're going to look at how it works by actually pulling up one of these two investments. Actually, we'll pull up both of them. One that I've invested into already, and one maybe we'll do an investment live here today. Now, one thing I should mention when you're looking at platforms or new things that you can invest into, there are some scam companies out there. So make sure you do your due diligence. We're never going to talk about something here on Nisba that we don't believe to be above board. The companies we talk about are generally FCA compliant unless they don't need to be FCA compliant. So some companies in the gold sector and the property sector technically don't need to be FCA compliant, but a company like this, Qardus, does need to be FCA compliant. And if we scroll down to the very bottom, you should be able to see some sort of disclaimer where it says that Qardus is either FCA compliant or is an appointed representative of another firm which is FCA compliant. Appointed representative is quite a technical thing, but it's completely fine, and we can check it out on the FCA website too. And it says down here, Qardus is an appointed representative of Share Limited, which is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Investments offered for sale on this website are not offered to the public. Investment can only be made by registered investors on the basis of the information provided by Qardus Limited. And here's a nice little disclaimer as well. Investing in offers providing financing to SME companies involves risks, including loss of capital, illiquidity, lack of dividends and dilution. It should only be done as part of a diversified portfolio. Investing in this platform is only for investors who understand these risks. You will only be able to invest in an offer once you have met our conditions for becoming a registered member. So I became a registered member. I think I had to answer some questions. I think I had to put down my income or my net worth or something like that. But it was quite straightforward, actually. It wasn't a hard one. I've had harder times on other websites. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's firstly pull up the Twilight Care Group. So the Twilight Care Group, 11.34% return per year is what they're targeting, which is not bad. It's not a bad return. Some people who aren't familiar with the type of returns that you can make on investments might not be very impressed by that number. But if you look at the general return of equities, when you're looking at 8 to 12% per year, this is decent compared to other asset class returns. Term 36 months, so it seems your money is locked away for 36 months. They're looking to raise 300k, but their minimum amount which they're trying to raise is 250k, and the amount they've raised so far is £145,000, £145,070. Hard to say that number. And you can invest from a minimum of just £10. Wonderful. That is wonderful. So let's read more and check out this investment and see some of the details under the hood. Childcare services. So the Twilight Care Group, and they call it TCG, operates children's homes providing care for up to 5 children with social and emotional difficulties in the Midlands. Nice. The homes are designed to offer a safe and supportive environment for children to thrive. TCG is seeking capital of up to 300k that will be used for growth capital as they seek to increase the total number of care homes to 5 in 2025 and 9 in 2026. And here on the left, it tells you that what you're investing into is a SPV, which is a special purpose vehicle, which is a company set up to provide a certain service. So this Murabaha SPV is set up to provide financing to the Twilight Care Group in the form of commodity Murabaha agreement. Well, what is a commodity Murabaha agreement? Well, it's basically a Sharia compliant way in which to extend financing. I mean, it's a fancy word for giving a loan to someone in a Sharia compliant way, and they do it by actually trading a commodity in the contract. Now, some people don't agree with the whole idea of commodity murabaha. Some scholars think it's kind of twisting the rules, but I'm not here to discuss whether the rules are right or wrong. At the moment, it is something which is generally accepted within Sharia compliant finance, and this is a service which offers it, which, even if it's not the best solution, some may argue that it's at least a step in the right direction. So what's going to be interesting is if we look at the investment memorandum, we can see more information about what the Twilight Care Group has in terms of its financial numbers, and we can kind of try and determine how much risk we're actually taking on by giving this company some money. So here it says what the company is called, where it's registered somewhere in Leicester, how much they're looking to raise. The interesting bit is going to be the financials. So here we have lots of risk disclosures. Should read that. Already read this. You can invest from just £10, which is nice, so you don't need a lot of money. The term 36 months, so your money's locked up for 36 months. It says here that there's potential early settlement, which means that it seems that they can close it early, so it doesn't have to actually run for 36 months. It can close anytime after 12 months. Let's keep going down. Some summary. Purpose of funding. So what are they actually going to use that £300,000 for? The funds will be used for growth capital as they seek to increase the number of care homes to 5. All right, how many do they currently have? I don't know how many they currently have, but it says here, as an Islamic owner-managed business, the owner wishes to source ethical financing which conforms to his religious beliefs. Very nice, very nice. These numbers, I've looked at them before actually, they're actually quite amazing. So the revenue is how much the company actually brings in. It's not the amount of profit they make. But in 2022, their revenue was 41,000, 2023, 400,000, and in 2024, almost 2 million. So I don't know what this guy is doing, but might not be a guy, might be a girl. Don't know what this person is doing, but whatever they're doing, they're increasing the revenue of this company like crazy. And it shows here how much profit they made in terms of gross profit, and the EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So these numbers won't actually be the actual profit they made. They're going to have other costs, and then they have a net profit figure, which they don't actually show here. But it does seem that this company is profitable and it is growing significantly. So it might well make sense for them to seek financing in order to expand their operations. Also shows here how much money they have in terms of money that's owed to them, assets they have like buildings and stuff like that, and cash that they have in the bank. They don't seem to have a lot of cash, only 28,500. Total assets they have is around £500,000, and they owe around £246,000, in some sort of debt or money owed to someone, and that means their total amount of assets they have within the business are £274,000. Very nice. And here it just gives you a bit more detail about the numbers, saying that they're having great revenue growth and the potential for this market and this company. Down here it shows you how they're going to pay out the profit installments and the principal repayments, so how you're going to get your money back, and how it comes month by month, all the way to the end of, say, 36 months, where you should get all your money back, including all the profit. Basically, what we're doing is we're extending financing to Twilight Group. All right, let's do it. If after you've read all of that, you're comfortable with it, what actually do you go and do? Okay, so let's go back to it. If you want to invest, where's the invest section? How do you actually invest? There should be a big button that says invest, but I think you go back to the view investment memorandum, and then here is where you have a big button which says invest directly. So you click that, then you put in the amount that you want to invest. So let's put in 1 million. No, you just put in like any number you want, like £100 or something. And then when you press confirm, it then brings you to a page where it shows some bank details that you have to transfer money to. Personally, I don't really like things where I have to transfer money to. I prefer making payments on the website, just because I always feel like it's a bit dodgy going to my bank account and putting in an account number and a sort code. I always feel like I'm going to get it wrong. But anyway, that's how it works. And if I go to my account, view portfolio. So I tested it out by saying that I'm going to pay in £1,000, but I changed my mind and I changed it to £5,000. And I actually transferred in £5,000, and that's when it changed to success. And it took about, I think it probably took about 24 hours before the payment which I sent to actually change to success, and get the confirm that they've actually received the money, which is good. I'm not going to send this £1,000 in. I don't even know how to cancel it, to be honest. It just says here they're waiting for the funds to be received. I don't know how to cancel that 1,000, but it doesn't matter. I think I'll just cancel it when the time is gone. Here at the top it says the total is 6,000 and invested in 6,000, but it's not. It's only 5,000 because that's how much I've sent. As you can see here, the 5,000 said it's a success. This repaid amount is what's been repaid to you, and cancelled or refunded is what has been sent back to you. And I think that's about it. Now you just wait for the money raised to close, and then for you to start receiving your profit payments. It's quite straightforward. It's an interesting alternative to just investing into equities or sukuk or property or things like that. You could say it's somewhat diversifying because it's not a traditional asset class. They have these things on the left, like add your bank account or add money. I'm not sure what they're for. Maybe it means you're adding money to your account so you can invest it straight away without transferring money to Qardus every so often, but I don't think there's any point in doing that. So let's look at the other one. Let's look at Ardo Electronics. So Ardo Electronics, they're getting the same amount, 11.34%. So Ardo Electronics, the projected net return is 11.34% as well. It looks like this is 11.34%. This is also 11.34%, and the last one they did was also 11.34%. I don't think every single fundraise they do is 11.34%, but these ones certainly are. This one's raising a lot less money, 40 to 50,000 is what they're going to raise. So let's see if we can allocate money to it, and let's read a bit more about it. Ardo Electronics, AEL, Ardo Electronics Limited, specializes in the sale of security systems and electronic devices in the Greater Manchester area. The business provides CCTV alarm systems and related security technology. Okay, nice. I don't know, decent business, I guess. Or depends how much money you're making. The revenues for Ardo Electronics Limited were £1.1 million, with an earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization margin of 4%. Alright, let's go read the documents and then we can transfer some money. Ardo, cool logo. So let's go and see this. Same stuff as before. It's a Murabaha SPV looking to raise between 40 and 50,000. Some risk and warning disclosures which you should read. Let's go and see what the company does in a bit more detail. This part's quite interesting. Expenses of the SPV. Qardus will charge a transaction fee of 10% of the funding target to the SME company who buys the commodities. So it looks like Qardus are charging the client 10%. So maybe that's £4,000 or £5,000 up front. And then the Qardus will also charge The SPV a 3% annual servicing fee on the outstanding balance, which is applied each month. So if they raise 50,000, Qardus take £5,000 up front, I guess, or maybe on top of that they take 5,000, and then what's 3% of 50,000? £1,500 a year they take in fees, but that's over and on top of what they're paying back to you. And it actually says down here in the repayment schedule that the agreement is actually for 17% gross, and that's how you get the 11.34% is after they remove the payment that goes to Qardus and the bit that goes to corporation tax and any expenditure incurred by the SPV. And that's one thing which, I don't know, I guess makes me a bit concerned. Why is a company seeking financing or getting financing at 17%? Just seems so expensive. But, you know, sometimes businesses can make a lot more than 17% doing their everyday operations. So if it makes sense for them to raise money and they can use that money to generate a lot more money, why not? Why not? But, you know, any business which is seeking financing at 17% either is desperate for the money or has huge potential for growth, so just is happy to take money at whatever price. That's why sometimes with these things, if you're unsure, start with a small amount, start with something that you're comfortable with, or don't invest it into it at all. But it's nice that they give you these documents with all the different details in it so you can go out and decide for yourself. So let's see the numbers for Ardo Electronics. Revenue, 700k, 1.1 million, and in 2025, well, it says 2025, but it's probably going to be April 24 to April 25. It's showing that the total revenue was slightly under the 24 revenue numbers, but their gross profit number at least jumped up a bit, so they're becoming more profitable, and it shows that here the gross profit margin has increased from 6% to 10%, even though it was 14% in 2023. So it went down and it's jumped significantly up. Maybe he's cutting out the less profitable customers, which is why his revenue has dropped, but his profitability has gone up. We can see here how much assets he has, which is around 337,000, and how much debt the company has, 307,000, and the total assets left in the company of just £30,000. So this, to me, at least on face value, seems a lot more risky than the last one we saw, the care home, Twilight Care Group. But still, I'll give them a go. Here it has some information about the CCTV industry and the security industry. And I think that's about it, and the payment reschedule again. So that's it. I mean, if you read that and it's something you're comfortable with, then you go and invest. Now, am I comfortable with this investment? Oh, I can't click investment directly because I have to invest directly. I confirm that I have downloaded, so I have to download it. Okay, now after I've downloaded it, now I can invest. So am I comfortable with this investment? Look, it seems risky. In all honesty, it seems a bit risky, but all investments carry risk. And given the rate of return, it seems all right. I mean, in theory, what I could do is I could just invest more money into the Twilight Care Group, but it's nice to diversify across a few different businesses. Qardus at the moment only have 2 options, but as they have more, you can potentially invest into more, and then you'll be more diversified across more companies. But I think in the other one I did maybe 5,000. This one, not so sure. So £1,000. Let's continue to payment, and then it brings me to this page where you have to request a unique bank reference number. So I'm going to request it, and these are the details, and it tells me the bank what I have to transfer the money to. That's about it. I send the money, and then it's going to appear on my account the same way as it did with the other ones. Now, if I go back to my account and view my portfolio, now it says I have £7,000 invested, even though I haven't actually sent this £1,000 in yet, which is why it says pending paying. So I'll go to my bank provider and I'll just transfer the money in. And that's Qardus for you. I don't know, it's an interesting concept. The businesses they seem to support, or the businesses that they're financing, seem to be Muslim-owned companies that want to raise money but want to raise it in a Sharia compliant way. If we go back, we can see how many they've already raised money for by looking at view all. It's not a new business, Qardus. I just don't think it's very well known. So they raised money for this and the male fertility clinic and some housing, an eyewear company. It looks like they've done quite a few already. I can't tell if all of them were successful, if you managed to get your money back on every single one. I don't even know how to tell. Maybe if I click on one, It doesn't say if it was successful or not. It would be quite nice if it says, okay, this deal successfully repaid. But it doesn't say that. I think they could use a bit more information on their website about historical performance. And what also would be nice is if there was a way to just invest in lots of companies at the same time, and the financing of lots of companies at the same time, so you don't have to do it one by one. And that's about it. We are going to be tracking our investment over the following months. We'll send out updates with different videos saying how it's going. If we lost money, if we made money, who knows? Could go either way. You know, I would expect it to pay back. I don't expect to lose money, but you never know with these things. Any business can just suddenly go bad, and you could lose all the money that you invest. That's why you start off with an amount that you can afford to lose. But of course, investing isn't that simple. You have to find out what your risk tolerance is. You have to find out what your capacity to take on risk is, and do all that stuff, and then make your portfolio. And if you know all of that stuff and you've invested into different things, then Qardus seems like one which is worth considering, especially if you want to make sure that your investments are done in a Sharia compliant way and you like the idea of supporting Muslim-owned businesses. The returns are decent, so we'll see how it goes, inshallah. And we put our link below if you are interested in using Qardus. We don't actually get paid to make this video, so Qardus haven't paid us to make this video, but what we do is we like to speak to all the companies that we talk about on our channel before we actually make a video on them. So we spoke to them and they gave us a little link, and if you use our link and you invest using Qardus, we get a little payment which helps run our channel. Nothing major. Certainly don't invest your money in Qardus just to get us paid. It just helps us operate our channel and make money. But if you don't feel like this was worth it and you just want to use Qardus and not click on our link, that's perfectly fine too. So yeah, Jazakallah khair everyone for watching. The link's down below if you want to learn more and you want to check out Qardus. And see you on the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.